So don't spell it. You have to, so these are your words, Trooper Proctor?
Yes, Your Honor.
Go ahead and say them.
Yes, she's a babe. Weird Fall River accent, though. No ass.
Oh, my. Former trooper Michael Proctor could possibly be tipping the scales in the murder case of Brian Walshe now. The accused killer appeared with his attorneys in Norfolk Superior Court on Wednesday on their motion seeking access to various records relating to the disgraced trooper's investigation. Now, Walsh's defense team is looking for Michael Proctor's cell phone records, his job performance records, and any records from cases that he might have investigated, specifically the death investigations of Officer John O'Keefe and Sandra Birchmore, two cases we've obviously been talking a lot about here. Now, here's a quick look at Brian Walsh's appearance. It was before a judge you're going to recognize, the Honorable Beverly Cannoni.
Good afternoon, Mr. Walshe.
Good afternoon. I think based on the representations of the Commonwealth, both in its communications yesterday and then today, there's a lot of discovery forthcoming, some of which addresses some of our requests, some of which probably don't. So I think it's a waste of our time to argue this extensive motion and memorandum of law. And I was going to explain why we filed such a detailed memorandum of law, but I don't think I need to waste the court's time with that. So I think what we're suggesting is, at least what we're suggesting, is that we come back on December 2nd.
All right, so Brian Walshe is accused of murdering his beautiful wife, Anna Walshe, back in January of 2023. And investigators believe that he hid her remains as well, as her remains have never been discovered. Now, he's being held without any bail. Still no trial date set for him, even though it's been a while. We understand that Judge Cannoni agreed to wait until December to hear that motion for this discovery that his defense team is requesting. So let's talk a little bit about Trooper Proctor and how his involvement in this case could potentially tip the scales of justice. I have a great guest standing by to help me do that. He's not only an attorney, he's also a law professor. Tad Thomas on the program with us. Oh, Tad, this is really something. This is a heinous case, as you know. It is believed that Brian Walshe murdered Anna Walshe and perhaps dismembered her body, according to some investigators' theories here. And they believe that her remains may have been placed around town, who knows, but never been discovered. And he's maintaining his innocence, and now it seems that he's looking for an advantage because Proctor worked his case. How do you see this going with them trying to get any information they can from Proctor in order to somehow use it to the defense advantage?
You know, it's not an unprecedented request, but it is very unusual for the defense to ask for this extensive information. Obviously, anytime you have a police officer or detective who has negative information against them and that pertains to their honesty, that has to be disclosed in every case. So now that you have this out there, it could be that the judge allows more information. I don't think the judge is going to allow this extensive information, but the defense was smart to not argue the motion right away because they looked very reasonable by telling the judge, hey, let's wait. We understand there's new discovery coming in. Let's wait, give us a chance to get through this additional discovery, see how many of these questions are answered that we have, and then we'll come back in December, and if we think we need to argue more and get more, we'll ask for it then.
Excellent points from you, Tad, as per usual. So at the end of the day, in the Karen Reed case, when it comes to Proctor, I mean, he ended up getting a very bad reputation for this. It was unprofessional, it was uncalled for, it was shameful, really, you know, and it also exacerbates any distrust that is out there for police, that he was talking about Karen Reed in such a disparaging way to family members. You know, they shouldn't have been hearing this stuff, or friends, or, you know, everything professional should stay professional. But when you really cut all through it, the Reed team was alleging that he tampered evidence, and there was no evidence that he did. No evidence whatsoever put into a court of law through that trial that he tampered with anything. So it was kind of like he got the what do I want to say, unlikable or just the bad reputation, you know, for, you know, I guess just kind of being a jerk or name calling, all that, just because of what he said in the personal text, not because he tampered or placed anything anywhere. I'd like your thoughts on that, please, Ted, when it comes to what can happen with Brian Walshe, because it seems like, are they looking for the same kind of thing here?
Yeah, I think what they're looking for here is, you know, a detective has to be neutral. They have to follow the evidence. And if they are found to be biased and have predetermined, predestined, preordained the outcome of an investigation, that is what can be attacked here. And so that appears to be what the defense is looking for in the Walshe case is, hey, were there other potential suspects that were never investigated so that they can draw reasonable doubt by pointing the finger at someone else without any evidence maybe, but just enough to say that the detectives didn't go out and get it. It's not the defense's responsibility to go out and investigate those other potential suspects. It's the detective. And so if they can say that the detective had preordained this investigation, then it could lead to reasonable doubt in at least one juror's mind, and that's all they need.
Right, right. Yeah, great points. You know, and I guess one big difference here, too, Officer John O'Keefe was a victim known to Michael Proctor. It was very clear he felt something kind of personal, being that this was another police officer victim. So another difference in these cases that are now being so closely compared. Big thank you to you, attorney and law professor Ted Thomas. We'll look forward to having you back very soon.